following show is a paid program.
Hey family, how you doing today? I am so excited. Our guest today, Miss Chandra Currelly, actress, comedian, national recording artist, and you know her from several of the Tyler Perry movies. But before we do this, on today we're being sponsored by DNP Productions, Diana Patterson. She's my executive producer. Let's see it. Hey, thank you so much, DNP Productions. As I was stating earlier, let's introduce Miss Chandra Currelly. Hey, lady, how you doing?
Hello. Great. I'm great. I just love your intro. I mean, I'm just like in Hollywood watching that intro.
I love you, lady. As you know, comedian, national recording artist, and actress. Let's jump right in. The first thing everyone wants to know is, how did you get into the industry?
Well, I was always a class clown, and so I kind of in high school had a drama teacher by the name of Latanya Richardson, who now is the wife of Samuel L. Jackson. And I didn't know it at the time. But they would be as famous as they are. But she was really talented, and at that particular time, Tanya was like the talk of the town. She was like this great actress, and really just she was, I guess, kind of on hiatus, and decided I have a degree, so I can teach in a year. And then do my acting career. But I met her, and she saw the talent. It was like in all the silliness that I was doing. And I remember one day she had given us, and my mom, Journal of Truth, I aren't I a woman? And when I started doing it, I wasn't serious about the monologue. And I really didn't want to disappoint her.
Right.
But she ended up getting kind of upset because I was playing, you know, and that's how some talented people are. Sometimes they just take their gifts for granted.
Right.
And she asked me to leave the stage. She said, just leave. And she was upset. And I was
Right.
like, oh my goodness, the person I care about is really upset, and I messed up. And then I asked her, I said, can I come back? Come on and do it. And she said, go ahead and do it. Like that. She was like really upset. And it's like when I did the monologue, left. It's like it was an out of body experience.
Right.
That meant that I was in a, and I didn't even really know what was a zone by, then, but I know my intentions were to do the right thing. And I remember finishing, and I was just exhausted. And I remember hearing her laugh. She was sitting out, in the audience of the theater, and she started laughing like, I got you.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Right.
talking about. And after that, the bug and stage, you know, I've had it for the rest of my life.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
is just thinking about and just hearing what you just said, many times we just don't know, right? Our gift and
Right.
what it really is
Yes.
and how it's going to carry us at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. And then later on, because I'm an only child, so I
Hmm.
always have this void of somebody like a sister or a brother. She kind of
Right.
took on that big sister
Hmm.
role.
Hmm.
And I mean, she did my hair for my senior prom and everything. I mean, I was just hanging around. She couldn't get away from, and she didn't try. She didn't try. And Sam was just being Sam, you know,
Hmm.
and he was respectful. And what they did was they had a summer theater camp, and he said, "I tell you what, I'll pay for Chandra." And there was another guy that I was hanging with that was really talented. And he ended up going to Broadway,
Hmm.
and you, and that's how I really began to study because he paid for my first theater workshop.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
And in looking at that, and I'm glad you said that because we have to pay for ourselves. In some kind of way, we've got to start, we have to continue to study, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone wants
It's
to
about
know.
knowing your craft. Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody wants to know, how did you and Tyler meet? You know, you get that one.
Oh yeah, I always get that one. You know, it. And the thing about it is, I have been working with the SOS band,
Mm-hmm.
and we had lost our because I always the music kind of tell people it's like this. Whatever likes me, particular time, the music industry is blocking me. But we got to a point where we lost our record deal, the SOS band. And so we were kind of floating around and just trying to see what we were going to do. And I always had the theater background,
Mm-hmm.
so I began to do some plays in town. And I was doing this one play called Sophisticated Ladies,
Mm-hmm.
and Tyler was there, everybody else that was in the show. And so after the show, he came up to playwright. So I was just like, oh, I mean, this young guy dressed the best, but his spirit, and he was such a nice guy, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And he said, "Would you read my?" And I said, "Sure, I read it." And I never did think about it, in a big way, like, "Oh, I'm gonna run home and go read this play." But
Right.
I ended up having time, and I read the play. And when I read the play, it was something about it. It was something
Mm-hmm.
about the characters. The characters were familiar, but the lessons in the play. And I think at
Mm-hmm.
that particular time, that's where I was in my life, where I wanted something something that was going to have an impact on people's lives.
Right.
And I saw that in what he was writing. And then
Mm-hmm.
I called him up and I said, "Man, I love I love your characters. It's really funny." I said, "But you got these lessons in here. You got these Bible scriptures in here." And I said, "I never seen anybody really do that."
Right.
And um and we end up talking all the time. He would be like doing I guess temp work,
Mm-hmm.
and he talking to me at the temp work, and he was like, "I'll call you back," like
Right.
I'll call you back. And so we end up kind of being friends,
Mm-hmm.
during that time before I even started because he at that particular time had nobody to, invest in his place. But then he
Right.
soon did, and he asked me to do to go out on a couple of the shows because he would only do about two every couple of months, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I would do them, you know. But yeah, I was discerning enough to know that he was something special.
Wow.
I had no idea.
No idea. I mean, look at this now.
No
We were just talking about
idea.
it earlier that from when you saw him in working and even when he was in theater, you were mentioning that you thought all the clothes he had in his car were, costumes or something.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, and these were doing like the rehearsals. So
Right.
when I pulled up to the rehearsal place, he would have all this stuff in the car, and I'm
Right.
thinking it's costumes.
Mm-hmm.
But no, even then he was homeless,
Right.
but still after his dream.
Right.
Still, and he never let me know. He would
Mm.
have come and have lunch with me in between my matinees. He would come see me at different plays,
Right.
and I would say, let's say between the show, let's go to lunch or something like that. And I would always ask him, I said, you want to order? Got you. He go, no, I'm good. But he probably didn't have the money. But he
Right.
didn't want me to know.
Right. Yeah, he didn't want you to know.
People never like, but
Mm-hmm.
people don't like the victim. It's not good to play the victim.
Right.
And he wanted me to look at him a certain way, to have a certain respect and stay focused on the person he wanted me to see. And
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot from that. I learned a
Mm-hmm.
lot from that.
Absolutely. Lady, you come to us being a comedian, an actress, as well as a recording artist. How is that?
I don't know about the comedian part. I know,
We know in the
being
shows you're
around
a comedian.
Yeah, I know, but being around, because he would always give me, like, the really heavy spiritual mother monarchs, that kind of
Right.
role, and then here he ends up giving me this funny role. Well, he always thought I was funny just between him and I talking.
Right.
And so that let me know that he trusted me and he trusted my chops.
Mm-hmm.
But being around him,
Yeah.
because he's a comedic genius.
Yeah.
And then I was around people like David Mann, who's Mr. Brown. Being
Yes.
around those people with that kind of timing. I'll even Patrice Lovely,
Mm-hmm.
Hattie.
Yes.
Just being around them, you learn. If you're into it, if you just
Right.
want to settle and say, this is who I am and this is all I'm going to do. But when you are around people and you're in like a sponge,
Right.
when something comes, you go like, wow, okay, I didn't even know I was participating, but I was participating the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I've got my chance to, be in a comedic role, I understand timing. I understand outside of the proscenium. I
Mm-hmm.
understand that and playing that. I know the difference between a comedian and a clown. I
Right.
know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it comes from just years of doing this thing and learning. And I always say being great is being better.
Yes, that is true. Let's
Yeah.
do this. You've got the second season of Bruh. Let's just look at a clip real quick.
Okay.
I heard you call Tom building Mike over.
What up, man? What up?
Now this what I'm talking about.
Why she always touching me?
Man, that is nasty.
They've been your friends since college.
I feel like Regina could have been the one.
We are getting married next month.
Please just call it off.
Are you catching feelings?
Ain't she the side piece?
You want to talk about the contract over some drinks? All he has are side pieces.
I know you still want me. I can see it in your eyes. I see through your pants.
You're so beautiful. I was wondering if I could take you out.
I don't think so.
You make sandwiches.
Let's get it. We the bros, like, bruh. Bruh.
Hold up, bro. So what are you doing here?
I need a prescription.
For what?
Weed.
I can't do that.
Okay. You wanna check my chest?
Oh my God. That Alice is something.
I'm telling you. And when he told me I was going to do Alice, I was like, okay, great. I'm playing another mother. He said, no, this is Mothers of All Mothers.
Mothers of all mothers.
And as I when I read that script, I was like, okay, well, how are people going to take that? But a role judging that character, unlike what people do.
Right.
But and as I got to know between her and her son, and know that this is a single mother with a black son,
Right.
things kind of, were more realistic to me.
Right.
And that a lot of it was that she was hardening him up where he can face the kind of world that he's in. But also at the same time, he's an adult.
Right.
And she's got to live her world. And she's probably not, really lived her one part of her life until he got a certain age. And then when women get a certain age, people don't think that they're sexual beings.
Right.
And so it was good to represent those women who still have that burst for life, still
Right.
has that vitality, still, want to have a relationship as a woman and not just a friend to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that, I was like, well, I'm speaking for a lot of women,
You really
my
are.
age and older.
Yes, you
Yeah.
really, really are. And I love that how she's very open. She's doesn't care. You know what I mean? Her
Yeah,
non-caring
well,
because
she's
he's
taught me to
grown
be, yeah, he's a grown man.
in her
And
house.
it's like, yes, in her house. Well, we have a debate about that.
Right.
And so, yeah, he goes like, "You live with me." I'm like, "No, I don't live with you.
Right.
You live with me." And it was some people that were debating about that, some fans. It was like, "Well, she
Right.
lives with," but I'm like, "Okay, if you listen to the storyline, she talks about how she gave the money
Right.
for the sandwich shop. He got
Mm-hmm.
the money from his friends and her.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't seem like he would borrow that money and have his own place, you
Right. There
know.
you go.
But yeah, so we fuss about that. I don't think we fuss about that anymore. Yeah, so yeah, and only me that she's doing that because she knows he's an entrepreneur. He's trying to do have his own business and be his own man. And by doing that, he's got to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's giving him to get it together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I learned a lot from Alex. I learned about freedom. Being an artist, a lot of times things are because of we're being criticized or what
Mm-hmm.
people think about us or trying to please everybody.
Right.
And so it gave me a freedom and understanding what it's like to be freed up and not
Mm-hmm.
worry about what somebody think about what you're saying and what you're doing, but who you are
Right.
and be in it and be
Mm-hmm.
in it, not pretend, you know, to be something else that you're not. So I
Absolutely.
love and Tyler did that this second season. He addressed it. My son comes to me and he says, "Mom, this stuff, what you're doing with the guys and the sex stuff and talking." She said, "Well, look, if you don't want me to be me around them, don't have them around me.
Right.
Because I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be
Right.
me, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not fair to me for you to ask me not to be."
Mm-hmm. I like
And
that.
I love that. I love that Tyler did that. That he addressed that. But he's very smart. He's very smart
Mm-hmm.
about people. He
And this
watches.
is
He listens.
happening in households today, right now. That same
Oh, and
thing is happening. Right.
it's serious. It's serious. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're just at a time now where we just got to be straight up with our young black men
Mm-hmm.
because it seems as though time has not changed.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems as though we're regressing
Mm-hmm.
in society as far as their respect for black men and black men's lives. And so it's gonna be about how do they come out of the house? What
Right.
did we give them before they stepped out into that world?
That's true.
You know, so yeah, it's very relevant. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's one of those type of things when I first got in it out by these four guys, I was just like, yeah, we need to speak. We
We need to
need to see
speak.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we
And
need to see them
I'm so
have a
glad you
relationship.
yeah, and I'm so glad that you took on that role because you embody who Alice is as well as talking to adult black men. You know what I mean? They're
Hmm.
still
Hmm.
she's still your child, but he's also that
Yeah,
adult, right?
and he's that adult. That's
Right.
right. And yeah, and just like our friends, we know their parents, and
Mm-hmm.
their parents kind of take that onto as the same thing.
Right.
Even if it's or whatever. Alice ain't gonna do nothing. She just flirting.
Mm-hmm.
She just cause they grown.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and she like, look, I got friends.
Yeah.
I'm just reminding you.
Right. Absolutely. And I like the way this is the other part that I loved about just that piece about parents helping their children become entrepreneurs because you gave money to him for the sandwich shop, so you
Yeah,
believed in who he was. We've got to have parents who
that's
believe in
right.
us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people get caught up into that because of the vocabulary of
Right.
Alice and how
Yes.
she expresses herself.
Right.
But they don't care about that if why she treating him, da, da, it's like, do you understand that she's investing in him?
Right.
So she's got to have faith in him, just what you did. I don't think people. That's the deepness of Tyler. And so
Right.
sometimes people have to get a little deep because they are they're looking at things from uh, the icing and
Right.
not getting into the cake part of it. But he wants you to get into that cake part of it because
Right.
that's what motivated him.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. And see, that's a generation now. Now you're leaving something or working with your son. This is what I loved about that. And then generationally, he's able to leave
That's right.
something. He's able to show
There you
others that
go.
he has his own, as an entrepreneur. That's what I loved about that.
Yes. And of course, he didn't think that that's what, that what he was doing was important. I mean, she'll say stuff like, you make sandwiches. But that's
Exactly.
just her,
Yeah, she did
you
say
know.
that.
Also, just putting him in perspective. Okay,
Right.
you making sandwiches. We want to get to the point that you just own a chain of these and you ain't making sandwiches no more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Just keeping him grounded to know, don't think this is it. Don't think this is just all about this. You got other mountains to climb.
Right.
And so, yeah. And so even though the one's a doctor, one's a, architect, one's a lawyer, he's just as important.
Right.
He's just as important. He's a servant just like they are.
Right.
But the big thing about it is he owns his.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that
Yeah.
out so people could understand or see themselves like that. So what we're going to do, right,
Yeah.
we're going to take a break and we'll be right back with Chandra Currelly. Let's play that video again. Let's show that video and we'll go straight into the break. Let's do that.
I heard you call Tom, Bill, and Mike over.
What up, man? What up?
Now this what I'm talking about.
Why she always touching me?
Man, that is nasty.
They've been your friends since college.
I feel like Regina could have been the one.
We are getting married next month.
Please just call it off. Bro, so what are you doing here?
I need a prescription.
For what?
Weed.
I can't do that.
Okay. You wanna check my chest?
The Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. Ron Carter Cadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Have you heard about Hero Go TV offering free TV?
Now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, family, we are back with Miss Chandra Currelly. Chandra, we were just seeing The Last of Broad. We were talking about the second season. We've hit on it. What do we have next going on with that second season?
Oh, well, you get a chance to see us at home. So one of the things about it, we were always like at the sandwich shop.
Right.
But now you're going to Alice and John's home a lot more. So you get a chance to see the home life.
Yes.
Why are you saying you know, because they're the Watts. It's Alice Watts. That's her name. And so you'll be at the Watts home a little more, because it was like my first time seeing the exterior. That's what they call when they show the shots outside of the, what it looks like the inside. That was my first time seeing what my home looked like. And so that was very interesting.
Right.
But so I love the fact that you get a chance to see the inside. That tells a lot about the character. You know how people say, go to the house and be like,
Exactly.
So it's that kind of thing. Also, this season, John's going to meet somebody, and so we're going to see how Alice deals with the fact of him actually, because she actually wants him to have somebody.
Right.
You know, I mean, even if it's just for 5 minutes. I mean, she's wanting
to get out of the house.
You know what I'm saying? That's what she, So, but we're going to see how she reacts to that, him having some type of love interest, you know, and how he deals with it,
Absolutely. We've got some questions from our viewers. One of them, your signature holy shake. Where did that come from? And how did it come about?
That came from me doing Medea's class reunion.
Yes.
And a lot of times we would go in these places and, they wouldn't have necessarily curtains so to close after the first act.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Tyler, okay, I always end the doggone first, always. So I said, well, I'm just going to sing and the music just going to I'm going to walk off the stage or whatever. And so Tyler was, no, you're going to have to sing all the way off the stage. I was like, okay. And then on that particular set, there were revolving doors.
Right.
So I don't know what happened. In the middle of that song, the drummer was doing something and that shoulder got to going. And I backed up all the way through the revolving doors with that shoulder. The people went out.
Yes.
They just went off. So Tyler was like, you're going to have to do that shoulder. Because one night he came out to figure out what it was. He was like, that's what you do. He was like, you're going to have to do that shoulder because they ain't satisfied that you do that shoulder.
Right.
So next thing I know, and it's different in all the plays. It's like different. Like that show, it started with the one shoulder.
One shoulder.
Then I did another show. It was the one shoulder, and then the other shoulder got involved on another show. And then it got into almost like a Harlem Shake on another show. And then I think the ultimate Holy Shake, and when they started calling it the Holy Shake, was when I did Medea's Big Happy Family.
Yes.
And that's when I go up as the angel. Because that just happened one night. And I just started saying, I made it. And what's deep about that was that's when Tyler's mother transitioned.
Right.
She had gone, and so I don't know. We just had a certain thing about that show, that was connected to his mother's spirit and the relationship with his mother.
Yeah.
And when I was doing it, I felt a freedom. It was like a freedom. I was her.
Yeah.
And both of the shoulders went.
Yeah.
And that's like one of my, and they start calling it the Holy Shake, because Marvin Winans was like, I don't know what that is you're doing. What is that? He was like, I don't know, but the people love it.
Love it. They love it.
And the lady walked up and she said, that's the Holy Shake. And next thing you know, I look on YouTube and there it is, the collection shake.
Yes.
That's like,
Everybody loves it. I
okay.
mean, I've had so many ask about that. Cam, you got to ask that question. Where did that come from? They love
It's
it.
endearing. Yeah, and I don't know what it is that they get from it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what that is, but you don't worry about it. You just
Yeah,
go like, what they're getting what they need.
they
You
do.
know,
Yeah.
it means something. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like I got something recently. They said like you gotta. I told them about the music video. They was like you gotta. As long as you put your shake in it. I was like, how I'm gonna put a shake
Shake.
and a soul jazz song? I mean, just.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. We love that. I'm dressed up I'm telling you, I am dressed today for the 16th,
Yes,
okay? We've got
yes,
some
you
major stuff
are.
going on.
You look fabulous.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You
Hey, I
are
had to dress
looking
for you. I'm telling you
fabulous.
right now. We've got some new
I'm
music
flattered.
that is coming out. Let's see
Yes.
this video. Let's talk about it. It's called Tell Me What I Gotta Do.
Tell me what I gotta do, what I gotta say to get to your house. Tell me where I gotta go, to be with you. Tell me what I gotta say to speak to your heart.
Okay, we couldn't show you everything. We got to show it the 16th. I'm
That's
telling
right.
you, it's coming
Right.
out the 16th. Let's talk about where that came from, lady.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tell me what I gotta do.
Yeah,
It was one of those things during the pandemic where everybody had time
yeah.
to think, to
Mm-hmm.
reassess. And I started thinking about my mortality
Mm-hmm.
because it was a lot of people, we lost a lot of people.
Right.
And it really was the reality of every, it's not promised to you that the next day
Mm-hmm.
and even in the next hour.
Right.
And so when I thought about it, when I thought about had I done just as an artist, because as a person, I've always made sure that, my relationship with my family was good. And I
Mm-hmm.
always say that. I say, I'm good if my family's good.
Right.
But I thought about it as an artist, and I had just finished filming the second season of Bruh in the Bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And I made some money, and I said, I would like to what I want to make sure that I invest everything, like in my dreams,
Mm-hmm.
in my ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and in my spirit said, uh, music,
Yeah.
your music,
Yeah.
and say, because that's what brought you to the dance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought about, I wanted to record live. So the session was a live session. So I had the
Mm-hmm.
guys to come into the session, and I was in the booth. I could see them through the glass, but I
Right.
wanted it to be the real relationship that we have on stage
Mm-hmm.
and to have that feeling. And so once I recorded it, um, later on, I began to think about people, they hear with their eyes now. So things are very
Right.
visual. And so I couldn't put it out without having something visual.
Right.
And so as I'm there going over my treatment of the song, and I chose that song because I love Al Jarreau. And
Mm-hmm.
I always believe in the people who set the trend and the standards that the next generation know they were there.
Right.
Know that what you're doing is because of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to do that because of Al Jarreau and the fact that he was the one of those people that gave me that understanding that I had my own voice because Al Jarreau scattered differently than the people before him, his
Right.
predecessors, the people that went before the Ellas and all that. He scattered different because music evolved, because
Mm-hmm.
instrumentation changed, and he began to emulate those instruments. So that let me know that wow, I have my own voice. I have certain things that I hear. I don't have to scat like somebody else.
Right.
And so I wanted to give a tribute to him because of that and the freedom of it. And so I decided to do it. But when I did my treatment for the video, we began to talk about it. And then one of the people um, that's part of the video, I mean the production company, said, "You know what? I didn't really know who you were, and I went and vetted you." And he said,
Mm.
"God, I mean, when I realized I've been seeing you all this time." He was
Right.
like, "You were the lady that da da da. You were the lady with the SOS band. you were the lady, that did the Tyler Perry play. You the one that did the television. And he was like, and I realized I'm sitting here with you now talking about this video. I just realized who you are.
Right.
And he said, this is your story. This is your story.
Wow.
It's like you're talking to the audience and saying, what do I got to do for you to remember my name?
Right.
For you not to have to say that lady.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Because I've done everything.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what am I have to do to get you to, and the industry, to kind of realize, that I've been in your house the whole time.
Wow.
All this time I've been in your house.
Mm-hmm.
I should be a household name because,
yes.
Your kids have grown up seeing me.
Yes. That's true.
I get young kids all the time that talk about these plays, and I'm just like, and that's because their parents were playing them over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And so now when I watch the video, and even my purpose, it changed my purpose, even how I delivered the song, because
Mm-hmm.
I have some parts where I'm talking to the guy
right.
who the writer had intended,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also talking to my audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so some things in the video that's like subliminal,
mm-hmm.
that is speaking to that, what I got to do for you, what more you want me to do.
Right.
Right. Because I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it. Yeah.
What I've loved about this, and what I love about your whole story, and as you know, I've loved you as a fan all this time, but you're going to die empty. And I can see that. That's what we all want to do. All of our gifts, whatever our gifts are, just die empty. Because in the grave, there are so many dreams in the graveyard, so many dreams that people did not go and actually deliver and give their gifts because they were so working and doing for family and doing for this, but they never fulfilled their own dreams. We all have our own dreams, right?
Yes.
And many we know. Yeah. That they just
and
did
our
not.
Goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do. Are waiting for it. And that's what I meant about there was an urgency.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There was an urgency there.
Yeah.
And because the reality of time.
Yes.
And so I wanted to make sure, as you say, I was empty.
Mm-hmm.
And that it wasn't, and then how to what are you leaving? And so, as an artist, this is actually my first music video as a soloist. And I did it in a certain kind of way. There's no one else in the video. Mm-hmm. And that was on purpose. Because, you see me on stage, there's no sense in me doing some kind of scene, talk, in the video.
Right.
Or they've seen me with bands, doing my music thing. There's always somebody there.
Right.
You see everything. You see the body of work in this performance.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I am. And so it is not connected to something else. This is what has been poured into me. And now you see it just bare as it is.
Yes.
And so, and so I wanted to make sure I left that.
Mm-hmm.
That you won't say it's connected to this, and it's fine. And thank you, Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it to be all connected to Tyler Perry.
Right.
And I didn't want it to be all connected to the SOS band. And I didn't want it to be connected to Roy Ayers. And I didn't want it to be. I wanted to be Chandra.
Right.
I wanted to be what all those things have put into me, and it is in the performance and how I perform this video. I ended up doing this video on Tyler Perry's old studio. I didn't know how that was going to end up happening.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how God works.
Yes.
He put me in the place where I had poured into.
Yeah.
And that's part of the harvest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was part of the harvest. And I ended up doing it, and you'll see the pictures, the things, and I named what I wanted to do, but I ended up, because of favor and because of relationship, I was able to do it there. Wow. Because it was at Aru Studios, which is the only Latino film studio in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's good. That's good. Let's do this. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with Miss Chandra Currelly.
To the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month, both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. Ron Carter Cadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Have you heard about Hero Go TV offering free TV?
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, thank you for coming back, Miss Chandra Currelly. We are talking to her today. Lady, let's talk a little bit more about your song, where to get it, what do you want people to take from it, how exciting it is, because I'm ready. We've got 2 more days. I can't wait, to get for the whole entire song, the video.
Oh yeah, people are right, excited about this video, because I've been kind of putting little snippets out there, and I just wanted everybody to be excited about it because I'm really excited about it, and also to know, tell me what I got to do, and I'll do it.
Yeah,
whatever it takes for me to achieve the things that I know I need to do. Tell me what it is, and it can be done. And so, saying that nothing is beyond you.
Yes.
And I want them to take that away from that. And also, I did the video on location. I wanted to be like, outside because we were locked in.
Right.
So when people see it, I want them to be able to appreciate nature and appreciate how we belong with nature, how God built the way He built our bodies, and our mind was to connect with nature. And so I wanted people to feel that freedom, and again, and also I know that I have a lot of young followers,
right?
And they don't really know about my music career.
Right.
And so I needed them to see me do a music video. And so those are the people that are really excited about it.
Yes.
Are the young people who've never seen. That's why they're so excited. They were like, "You're doing a music video? Wow!" Right. I said, "No, I won't be the lady with the gray wig on. I won't be doing that."
Right.
But so I'm excited for them to see it. Another generation of saying it, and also hearing real music.
Yes.
Not saying that the music of today is not real, but to listen to real songwriting and real production and real instruments, because that's one reason I wanted to do it live, is so they can feel it and understand it's a reason why you feel musicians playing the music, because it's life force. And so they're putting their life in these instruments. It's like it's transferring over to these instruments, and that's why you feel it like that. But yeah, so the premiere and the release, the official is July 16th, which is Friday. I'm
Yes.
like super excited about that.
Yes.
The video will be on my website.
Yes.
So they can go to my website, and also they'll be able to purchase the song through all the digital platforms.
Right.
It'll be, on Apple, it'll be on Spotify, it'll be on Amazon. So it's not too many platforms that they won't be see that they can purchase the music. And so I made it all digital, so it's only to be downloaded. It's not the physical, because I'm waiting. I'm going to finish this project, even though I didn't really realize that I was going to be doing that. But it's kind of like creating its own thing. So it's like saying, "Oh, this is part of a whole project." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." So they can download it, see the video and all that on my website, chandracurrelly.com.
Lady, I appreciate everything you've done, because even during this time, during COVID, you were virtual a lot of times. You were still doing concerts to help us out, even during those times. Why so?
Because it was necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, music has its purpose. And I think we really found that out during the pandemic. And I always said that music was a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
And something was missing once we didn't have the music.
Right.
It was like we was dealing with the world and all this stuff, but people didn't realize that they didn't get a release. And sometimes we're the artists to speak, to articulate how they're feeling and what people are going through. And it's almost like they're getting to release through what we're doing.
Right.
Because we're articulating for them. And so it was necessary that do that. And also we needed it.
Yeah.
We needed it. It's like having, like you were saying, leaving empty.
Right.
Because there's something in there that's supposed to be poured out among the people that we have. And so it was necessary that we did that. So we were like feeding each other back and forth. So once I did the live gig, people lost their ever loving mind.
Exactly.
Once the live thing, I mean, people lost their minds because they realized what was missing.
Right.
We could give them that, and that was great. And it's like a pacifier and get, a baby till they get to the bottle.
Absolutely.
That's what that was like. But you got to give them that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't give them that pacifier, they're going to cut up.
So, lady, this is the end.
Okay, I'll do this.
Yeah, lady, I appreciate you so much. Can you believe it's over? Bruh, it's going to be on BET Plus, right? We can look at it on BET Plus?
Yes, BET Plus.
Okay.
You have to be a subscriber.
Yes.
It's worth it because as they say, it's all black.
It's all black.
You'll be seeing things that you would normally see on other networks.
Absolutely.
So it's really great, and it's also supporting her as part owner.
Yes.
And it's just being a part of a demographic that needs to be supported by money, not just by you saying it's great and y'all doing good.
Yeah.
So, so it's important that you guys subscribe to it.
Yes.
But also, I want you, Cam, to be on with an award-winning, Cam Hill is such an honor.
Oh,
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, lady, for everything you've done. Thank you for all of your support and even speaking into me all of this time. From meeting you the first time and telling me, Cam, you're going to make it. These are the things to do. This is not the first time, family, I talk to her. Yes. We talk all the time. And she is a pivotal part of the success of this show. Thank you, lady, for everything.
Oh, Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah.
You deserve the best. And thanks to the crew. They're just fabulous and wonderful. And it's great to have family that care about the quality of your show.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
it's one of the few shows that, just takes the time to do it right. So I appreciate it, and thanks to them too.
Thank you, lady. Love you so much. The Cam Hill Show, 12:31,
I
30
love
Central
you.
Standard. Love you. 12:31, 30 Central Standard Time. See you then. Bye.